Natasha Lyonne has had a tragic life, from her drug-addicted parents forcing her to be a child star to feed their addiction, to her own issues with substance abuse, and the moment she lost everything. Natasha has been both at the top and rock bottom. So let's get into it. Natasha Lyonne is a superstar, but it took a lot for her to get here, from acting as a child star to an addiction that almost took her life. We're gonna do a deep dive into Natasha's life, but to tell this story, we need to start from the beginning. Natasha's parents pushed her into the business at a young age, and she was actually featured on Pee-wee's Playhouse. Here's Pee-wee, and then there you see, there's Natasha. It's wild to me how many stars are born from these child shows. It makes me think of the Mickey Mouse Club and how Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera all got started there. Let's not get into the child star pipeline, that's for another video, but Natasha's parents separated at 8 years old, and that was really hard for her. She had her mom who was single raising her, and like we see in a lot of family dynamics with child stars, Natasha was their cash cow. Like, they depended on Natasha working so her mom could pay the bills. What's also really unsettling is that her parents were addicts, so they were putting their daughter into work as a kid to go and get this money and use the money that she made on drugs and alcohol.
Having alcoholic, suicidal, mental patient parents is really, really helpful for character development. And yeah, your eyes are wide open to the full scope of the human condition at an early age. So you have a high emotional IQ.
Now, Natasha herself had issues with addiction. They say it's hereditary and it was passed down here. But before getting hooked onto the hard stuff, Natasha had a movie that really created her acting career. It was her role as Jessica on American Pie. As Natasha was getting noticed in Hollywood, she was also getting kicked out of her high school for selling pot. She says she was the weird kid with the big hair selling weed, probably smelling like a skunk. This article reports that Natasha was expelled from her private Jewish high school for selling pot to her peers. She told Esquire that she engaged in selling drugs because it helped her fit in after feeling like an outcast. Now, around this time, Natasha went through something traumatic. This was in the late 90s, and she claims that she was SA'd by a film director. She recounted being attacked after the release of her breakout film, Slums of Beverly Hills. Natasha, who was 19 at the time, claims that she was preparing for an audition for a Janis Joplin biopic. She describes the unnamed director that she refers to only as G as older than her and someone she met in LA. On one occasion, he picked her up, took her to a bar on Sunset Boulevard, and later overpowered her despite her clearly saying no. She said, "I was pretty devastated by the whole scene and declined flying back to LA for a screen test." And I don't know if this incident was a trigger for Natasha, but after this, her addiction started to set in. Natasha struggled with heroin and an opioid addiction, which began not long after she left NYU to pursue acting full-time. In 2001, she was arrested in Miami Beach for drunk driving after crashing a car. She was charged with a DUI, careless driving, and leaving the scene of an accident. A few years later, in 2004, she faced criminal trespass and harassment charges after allegedly entering a neighbor's apartment in Manhattan, threatening to molest the woman's dog and tearing a mirror off the wall. So clearly she was on some drug-filled benders, just getting up to no good. Also, like, trying to molest a dog. Natasha, let's be real. This blind item reads, "There's been a nasty accident in Hollywood and someone will have to pay up. The issue is nobody wants to take responsibility per usual." But that's not the case anymore, because with Morgan & Morgan, regular people are finally winning too. They are the largest injury law firm in America, with over 1,000 attorneys and offices across the country ready to fight for you if you end up working with them. In the entertainment industry, these stars have a full team to manage them. Why shouldn't you? Plus, they've been doing this for over 35 years and recovered $25 billion for people just like you. One of their clients was offered a measly $350,000 from an insurance company. Morgan & Morgan got them $12 million. And these aren't rare stories. This is what they do. What makes it even better is how easy it is. For in 2025, people, Morgan & Morgan doesn't make you deal with the paperwork or pay anything up front. You can scan my QR code and fill out your case within minutes. And remember, the fee is free unless they win. So you don't have to pay anything out of pocket, and you're not not hiring a lawyer. You are hiring a full team who knows how to get it done. That is why Morgan & Morgan is who I would trust if anything happened to me. If you need them, you could start your claim now by clicking the link in the description below, or scan the QR code on the screen using your phone's camera. It's fast, it's simple, and it could change everything. In December 2004, Natasha was kicked out of her apartment. The landlord, actor Michael Rappaport, said that there were complaints from neighbors about her hard partying ways. After the eviction, Natasha was reportedly homeless.
You know, I was so into drugs.
By 2005, Natasha hit rock bottom. She had no job, and her drug addiction was so bad she lived on the streets, where she contracted hepatitis C. Natasha's drug use had damaged her body so much that she was rushed to the hospital with a collapsed lung.
Her father did some press at the time and said that he does have a spot where she could stay after being kicked out, but I don't think anyone wanted to assume that responsibility. By 2005, that following year, Natasha's addiction reached a life-threatening point. She was actually admitted to the hospital because her body was starting to fail her.
You know, it's like I'm a changed person in terms of I'm no longer like self-destructive in these same sort of violent ways that land you in, you know, hospitals and DUIs, that kind of thing.
So Natasha's addiction was bad. She had to have heart surgery in 2012. What's interesting is that her character on Orange is the New Black had the same procedure. So she used her real scar for the scene where they spoke about this. But it seems like after 2005, there was really nowhere else to go but up. She was in the hospital. She wasn't doing well. Her neighbor's dog is now being threatened to be like touched by her. So Natasha really had to go and get herself together. While there is a decade-long gap on her resume, it seems like Natasha has come back and even stronger than before. To be honest, Orange is the New Black was the first time I really had seen Natasha's work, and I loved that show. Comment below if you guys watched it. But recently, Natasha's been receiving some heat because it looks like she's going to be using AI, which is something that a lot of people in Hollywood are against right now. It seems like there's AI everywhere. I see these babies in the hospital just born and they're giving interviews. I see the weirdest AI things online. And while I feel like it's inevitably going to be a big part of our lives, Natasha is accepting it really fast and quickly. And people are kind of taken back by that because it's taking away her peers' jobs. What's interesting is that Natasha was against artificial intelligence at first, but now she's a big supporter of it. The backlash has been swift. Fans and critics accused her of hypocrisy, particularly given the concerns over job loss. But Natasha is defending herself, saying that this is a necessary adaptation to the industry, that if you're not going to join us, you're going to be left behind. This comment reads, "Every time Natasha Lyonne speaks about this, it just makes her look worse and worse. Never thought she, of all people, would become a corporate sellout." But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I did not know much about Natasha until we started to research into her, and it's a really interesting story. So let me know if you guys liked this, and if you have any other video ideas for me, any other topics similar to this, let me know in the comments below or my email at SloanWellKnown@gmail.com. But I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.